She walked into first class with nothing but a small canvas bag and a humble cardigan, and instantly felt the eyes of the wealthy passengers sizing her up. Whispers floated through the cabin, some sneers, some chuckles. "Who let her in here?" One woman murmured. "She looks ordinary." But when the captain stepped out of the cockpit and announced, "Mom, your husband will be boarding shortly. He owns the airline," every mocking face froze, and what happened next didn't just shock the passengers. It changed one man's life forever. Before we dive into this unforgettable story, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to Tales and Turns for more inspiring stories. Also, tell us where you're watching from in the comments. We love connecting with our global family. Anna never sought luxury. She grew up in a small town, wearing hand-me-down clothes, reading old books, and living a life full of quiet dreams. When she married Daniel Hale, a successful businessman and airline owner, she didn't care for his wealth or status. Their love was built on respect, kindness, and shared laughter. Today, she was flying first class to meet him after weeks apart, insisting she didn't need a private jet. "I like seeing the world as it is," she told him. But she had no idea the world in first class could be so cruel. From the moment she entered the cabin, Anna could feel the stares. Women in designer dresses whispered, men in crisp suits smirked, and a few passengers openly laughed. "First class, did she upgrade by mistake?" one whispered. Anna held her head high, clutching her small canvas bag, which had her late mother's embroidered flowers. She tried to focus on her seat, but every step seemed to draw more judgment. She reminded herself that she was here for Daniel, not them. Yet, the humiliation felt heavy, familiar, like a shadow she'd carried her entire life. The whispers escalated. A tall woman leaned toward her friend, pointing discreetly. "Look at her bag. Does she even know what first class is?" Another passenger chuckled. "Maybe she thinks this is charity." Anna forced a calm smile, her chest tightening. Memories of ridicule from her youth resurfaced, but she refused to let them define her now. She lowered herself into her seat, careful not to meet their eyes, though the judgments lingered like a storm cloud over her. A particularly arrogant man in a leather jacket leaned over and said, loud enough for nearby passengers to hear, "You're in the wrong place, sweetie. Economy is that way." Anna looked at him steadily, her voice soft but firm. "This is my seat." The man blinked, shocked at her composure. She folded her hands in her lap and breathed deeply, trying to steady the rising tension. Around her, the atmosphere was thick with judgment, and yet Anna felt a small, unshakable flame of inner calm. She was more than appearances. Suddenly, the cabin fell into silence as the captain stepped out of the cockpit. Passengers straightened instinctively, curious. He walked toward Anna, smiling respectfully. "Mrs. Hale," he said, bowing slightly. "Your husband sends his apologies for being delayed. He'll board shortly. He just signed off on the new fleet." The words struck like lightning. Gasps spread across the cabin. Those who had mocked her moments ago froze. Whispers turned into shocked murmurs. Anna's heartbeat quickened, not from fear, but from disbelief. A few minutes later, Daniel Hale entered. He was tall, elegant, and confident, carrying himself with the quiet authority of a man used to being in charge. His eyes immediately found Anna's, softening with warmth and love. "There you are," he said, kissing her forehead. The cabin went utterly silent, all previous arrogance dissipating. Passengers who had laughed were now pale, their expressions a mix of shame and awe. Daniel didn't hide his pride in Anna. He wanted everyone to see the woman who had won his heart. Daniel settled beside her, placing a leather-bound folder on the tray and subtly holding her hand under the table. Anna felt the warmth of his presence steady her nerves. Around them, the cabin shifted. Some passengers whispered among themselves, trying to process what they had just witnessed. The once loud critics now sat quietly, their earlier laughter replaced by a heavy, reflective silence. Anna's calm, gentle presence had transformed the room without a single harsh word. Then came an unexpected moment. The man in the leather jacket, the loudest critic, stood shakily. "Sir, ma'am, I was wrong," he said, voice trembling. "I mocked you. I judged you unfairly. Seeing your poise and the respect your husband has for you, I realize I've been shallow and cruel." His words hung in the cabin like a confession. Daniel and Anna exchanged a glance, recognizing the sincerity in his eyes. Anna placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "It's never too late to change," she said quietly. "We all have that choice." The woman who had whispered about Anna's bag earlier stepped forward, as well tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to judge you," she whispered. Anna smiled softly. "Kindness and grace speak louder than any judgment," she said. Around them, the atmosphere had transformed entirely. The arrogance of first class melted into humility, respect, and reflection. Even those who hadn't spoken felt the weight of their own behavior, silently acknowledging Anna's quiet strength. As the plane soared above the clouds, Anna leaned into Daniel's shoulder, feeling a rare peace. The cabin was no longer filled with whispers and sneers, but with a newfound awareness of human vulnerability and humility. Daniel kissed her hair and whispered, "You changed this whole room without raising your voice." Anna smiled, looking out the window at the endless sky. "Kindness is louder than cruelty," she said. And as the sun's golden light bathed the cabin, she realized something she had long forgotten: she had always been enough.